Venus finally stations direct Sunday, September 3rd. Let's talk about it. So, before we get into the aspects that Venus is going to be making with the other planets, Venus in Leo going direct, this is moving forward with desires that brings pleasure to your inner child, desires that your inner child been longing for, right? Your like inner child's desires, not necessarily your current self desire, but like the desires of your inner child, the desires that bring joy and pleasure and enjoyment and relaxation to your core. So Venus is stationing direct at 12 degrees, which is the Pisces degrees. So this movement forward, this moving forward with the thing that you love and you're in the Leo part of your chart, we're doing so very sentimentally. It's very spiritual. We're not just moving forward with like, okay, this is what I desire and so this is what I'm going to go for now. No, this is more, it's like deeper than that. It's like, this is what I've always wanted, and inevitably inevitably I was going to submit to this desire. Like inevitably I was going to go after this because this is something that I've wanted all my life, but I've never, for whatever reason, actually moved forward with it. So it's really spiritual, it's really deep, and it's really personal. It's really personal. Um so when Venus initially entered Leo, it was all about indulging in attention, taking pleasure in the spotlight, wanting to be the center of attention all the time. But it going into retrograde kind of, I think the point of that was to get everyone to stop for a second, right? Go tap into their heart and review, what do they desire? What do they actually want to be in the spotlight in the first place for? Like it was intended for us to go back and and think like, what did I used to desire, and do I still desire it, and what are my actual desires? Like, Venus is a very superficial sign, so this was very uncomfortable for most of us. But for those of us who did it, who fought the uncomfortability and went within and tapped into our inner child and discovered and reviewed and remembered what we've been longing for in a core level since we were a child, right? Like what we've always wanted. Now with Venus going direct, we are moving forward with those things. Now, if you didn't go within, you could be feeling lost right now, and especially it being at the Pisces degrees, you could be having sort of a crisis energy and just like not knowing how to move forward because you don't really know what you want. It's not too late to, just because the Venus is direct. I mean, it's direct, so now would be the time. It just means you missed the shift, but it's no big deal. Just go within right now. Go do that tonight. Like, do that shadow work tonight. Go back down to childhood and just, do that shadow work and figure out what it is that you really long for real. So you know how to move forward. So Venus now direct is going to be squaring Jupiter in Taurus. So this is learning how to find pleasure and enjoyment in your spirituality again, or it's challenging to enjoy expansion, or this is like not really wanting to expand or having to learn how to expand again. The moon is also squaring Venus. So just for a little while, we're going to be learning what desires to react and respond to, what desires to be in the mood in, what desires to give a fuck about, things we should be taking pleasure in, what things we shouldn't be taking pleasure in. Square is really an opportunity, low key. The moon also deals with the soul. So with Venus squaring the moon, that's like the challenge to, it's challenging to know, like to figure out what desires feeds our soul, what desires make our soul smile, like what can I indulge in that leads to like me feeling good. Look to see what house you have Leo in, because that's going to be the area of life where you move forward with these desires, and also the area of life where all this is playing out, where you may have that crisis energy if you don't really know what you want.